May 12th crops up on my calendar of historical events, or rather, crops down on it, because this is the day that President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the Agricultural Adjustment Act into law back in 1933. It was this desperate, harebrained idea of the sort that only government would get, that the way to increase prosperity in the United States was to destroy wealth. In this case, specifically, to destroy food, because the nation was hungry, and this was bound to help. But I'm trying to resist temptation here. So instead of talking about public affairs, I want to talk about an entirely different kind of initiative. Because May 12th is also the date, this was in 1935, 2 years later, and it wouldn't have made the newspapers, but it's the date when the two men who founded Alcoholics Anonymous first met. And you think about Alcoholics Anonymous, it is an organization so incredibly unlike government that the contrast couldn't be greater. It is people working together on the problem of alcoholism, which these two had struggled with and had been unable so far to break its hold on them. And so they created this organization with its famous 12 steps, the first of which is you admit that you can't control your drinking. Then you decide that some higher power can help you, pretty denominational higher power. But you also say that you need help from fellow human beings, that you must honestly confess your failings, not just to yourself and God, but also to somebody else, that you must make a moral inventory, that you must try to be a better person, that you must try to make amends to those you've harmed, unless trying to do so would cause them further harm, that you must continue to make this kind of inventory of your own personal failings. And Alcoholics Anonymous has helped millions of people over the decades. Now, I know there are a lot of debates, how well does it work? How many people really manage to stay sober through Alcoholics Anonymous? And obviously and tragically, the answer is by no means all of them. Some people don't attend a lot of meetings. Some people achieve sobriety and then even years later will fall off the wagon. Alcoholism is a terrible thing. But how well does it work compared to doing nothing? How well does it work compared to just stopping yourself? And here again, the answer might be there are people who can do that, but there are people who can't, and they turn to their fellows and they turn to a higher power and something good happens for them. So now let me ask you, how well does Alcoholics Anonymous work compared to the government's war on drugs? If we're going to have realistic standards of comparison, that thing has been an unbelievable failure, unless you're in organized crime, in which case it's been a great success. Have people stopped smoking marijuana because the government tried to make them stop smoking marijuana? No, but it has filled America's prisons. For that matter, how has Alcoholics Anonymous worked compared to the government's effort to make the nation richer by destroying wealth? It's not just the Americans. The idea caught on with governments. Idiocy will spread in the public sector. They try to increase employment by limiting the conditions under which people can work. They try to increase innovation by restricting the ability of business to invent things. Almost everywhere you look, there are government programs that aim to achieve good ends by means that are obviously going to be directly counterproductive. Alcoholics Anonymous has helped a lot of people control a very serious drinking problem. And maybe if we entrusted more of our problems in society, from the creation of wealth to the alleviation of misery to the private sector, we'd find that compared to a government that thinks that the way to treat hunger is to plow food straight back into the ground, we'd get much better results.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.